Today I'm going to make a very easy and simple watercolor and ink flower sketch. I'm using my Rosa watercolors. I really like these. They're very creamy and they have a good selection of colors. I'm just going to drop a little bit of water onto each of the colors before I start. This helps the paint to get ready for me. It helps to activate the color pigment and provides a nice kind of base for me to start working with. The color's already wet and ready to mix. Next, I'm going to drop some water onto my paper. I want to create a soft color underneath my painting by dropping the color down, and so I'm using a wet on wet technique. So I need to make sure that my paper is wet in order for this to happen. My next step is to choose a couple of colors and just start dropping them onto the paper. So I've chosen this lovely orange, and I'm also going to do a yellow mixed in with the orange, and then a little bit of a pink red. Just putting the base layer down, and of course I don't know what is going to happen with this color because it is wet on wet and you never are quite sure what the colors are going to do and how they're going to blend. And that's kind of the beauty of a painting like this, is it's a little bit of a surprise every time. I did notice that some of my paint was running a little bit, probably because my paper was arching. That's just what happens with water on paper when it gets wet. So when the paper gets wet. So I just used a little bit of tape that I had on my desk already and taped the corners down. I probably should have done this to start with, and that helps the water not to pool so much and not to run so much. Obviously, the more water you have on your paper, the more it is going to run. So just watch out that you're not putting too much down. You don't really want puddles. I do have a few puddles here that I'm going to have to fix. I've also put some green at the bottom to represent where the stems and the leaves will be. And then the next job is for this paint to dry. I am going to come in and with a little bit of paper towel just soak up a little bit of the water where I had put too much water down and was getting a few little puddles. I don't want to lift the actual paint, the pigment, and so I'm doing this very carefully, but I did want to take away some of that wetness. Okay, I've left my paint for a few minutes and it's now completely dry. This is a very important step before you use pen. I'm using my Faber-Castell pens here. I've got a medium and an extra small, but you can use any type of pens that you have. I just wanted a thicker and a much thinner tip, so these are the pens that I'm using. And I'm going to outline some flowers, choosing from the color base that I have. I'm just going to start putting down some ink and putting down the shape of some flowers. Very basic. So I used my thicker pen for all of the pen work so far, and now I'm switching to my thinner pen and doing some extra detail. I'm coming in with another paintbrush now. This time I'm using a very thin tip. This is just a number 2 round. And I'm going to add a few more details and a bit more color to some of the leaves and some of the petals. I don't want to do everything, but I just want to add a little bit more definition. So here we have our finished product, a very simple pen and watercolor flower sketch. Hope you enjoyed watching this and maybe you can try one. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.